just one moment. Yes. One commences with this because it brings the mind back to a continuum, a continuity, going back thousands of years to the great masters who revealed this ancient wisdom. Then one takes 4 sips of water from the Achamana vessel. So here, maybe you can show it once more, because the screen, when I have to stop sharing the screen so you can see it. This is called the Achamana vessel. It can be any vessel, but good materials are silver, copper, and brass. So maybe you can show them what it means to sip. So you make this mudra with your the right hand. Yeah, so you make this mudra and then you put water in your hand and you sip the water. That is called sipping the water. And we do so 4 times while saying this sacred mantra. The first is Om Aim Atma Tattvam Shodhayami Swaha. These are very secret still, so please don't share these on YouTube or in the public sphere. These are very secret bija mantras, mystical syllables. This means we purify the reality of oneself. We purify the reality of one's knowledge. We purify the reality of our Shiva nature, and we purify all reality. And we say these powerful syllables while doing so. Then we wash the hands. So Tripura will show what it means. We wash the hands means we sprinkle a little bit of water and go like this. And yes, of course, we will share the slides with you later. We have them in both in English and also in German. And we have them in Devanagari and also in the transcription. So don't worry. Then, following this, we meditate by breathing the syllable so 10 times onto the fontanelle. The fontanelle is this place which is soft in babies. It is the place that is most important in our subtle body because it represents the bindu of the Sri Chakra. It represents, if we understand our body to be the Sri Chakra, then the lower part of the Sri Chakra corresponds to the lower part of the body, and then the bindu, the highest point of the Sri Chakra, corresponds to the fontanelle. And when one trains the fontanelle, when one continuously activates the fontanelle throughout one's life, the great masters have explained to us that the prana then leaves the body from this place, which means we go into the upper worlds, the higher worlds. It does not leave from the lower openings of the body. So it is important at this point to have a short meditation by breathing the syllable sohu 10 times on this place. What does that mean? It means you can feel as if this place is doing the breathing, as if the breath is happening from this place. It may sound a bit strange to those who have never practiced this, but you can do it. Imagine or feel, it's not really an imagination because it's actually happening. Feel that this place is breathing the soul. Inhale, mentally you say sohu. Then again with the next inhale. Again. And it's a little bit as if this place is expanding slightly with the Sohu. As if this place were a little Lung. In German eine kleine Lunge. Als ob dieser Ort eine kleine Lunge wäre. As if this place were a small lung that is expanding with the breath, with the prana. As you say, Sohu. So 10 times means on the inhale, you say Sohu mentally, and then you just exhale. Typical little symptoms that people feel if they are doing this for some time, sometimes even in the beginning, is they start feeling some pressure here or some tingling or something is happening here. And that is considered very, very auspicious because it means that your subtle body is receptive to Srividya. So, having done this short meditation, you do the Sankalpa. As you can see in this little picture here, the Sankalpa is done by taking flour or water in your left hand and placing the right hand over the left. And you remind yourself that you are doing the worship for the benefit of all beings. Our Gurudev always said when Srividya Puja is done, it should be done for the benefit of all beings, not for one's own sake only. To obtain Lalita Mahatripurasundari's grace and to attain ultimate liberation. Ask only for the highest in Srividya. That is the most powerful. So Tripura will now show you how this looks. Yeah, so maybe you can show again how. So you take a flower, you place it in the left hand, you place the right hand over the left hand, and then you make your sankalpa, your intention. And as mentioned, the intention should be for the benefit of all beings. Of course, you can also pray for something yourself, but as our Gurudev said, don't be greedy, don't be selfish. Yeah, that is not powerful. Somebody asked, is the inhale so and the exhale hu? No, only the inhale is the syllable so, and the exhale is nothing. This is not the so-hum breathing that you know from yoga or the hamsa breathing. No, this is the Srividya breathing, only the syllable so. Right? So we come back to the Sankalpa. You can spend some time on the Sankalpa, maybe 1 minute, where you actually formulate your intention. It is like the resolution. I sometimes joke, in the modern world, people make a resolution only on New Year's Day, on the first day of the year. In Srividya and in Hindu Dharma, we do it every day. And not only once, sometimes twice. Yeah, it's always the resolution. The resolution is something auspicious, something powerful, something that is sacred, right? And then you place it either in a vessel next to you, or you can place it on the shrine also, right? So we go back to the next part. And this, what is written here in English, is here in Sanskrit. Om Sarvesham Kalyanartham, for the benefit of all beings. Shri Lalita Maha Tripurasundari Prasada Siddhyartham, to accomplish the grace of Maha Tripurasundari, Shri Lalita, Paramamoksha Praptyartham, to attain the ultimate liberation, Shri Vidya Saparya Krame, in the sequence of the worship of Sri Vidya, Shri Lalita Maha Tripurasundari Panchopachara Puja Vidhim Nirvartayishye. I now execute the procedure of the worship with 5 items to the glorious Sri Lalita, the beauty of all the 3 worlds. For those who are not used to speaking Sanskrit, take your time. I said it very fast now. You can take your time. Then the puja already begins with the Dhyanam, the meditation. Here we follow the Dhyanam of the sacred Brahmanda Purana, the Lalitopakhyanas. And this meditation is to experience Lalita Mahatripurasundari as rosy red, pervading the sky and filling the whole world with her mercy. And specifically, her mercy is flowing as waves from the side of her eyes. It is said that the Divine Mother is so graceful that she doesn't actually look at us directly. She looks at us through the side glance, the side of her eyes. And from that side glance, waves of mercy flow to the whole world. This is how you meditate on Sri Lalita before the puja. No, not before, as the puja begins. This is the sacred mantra. Om Aim Reem Shreem Aim Klim So Arunam Karuna Tarangita Kshim Dhritapashankusha Pushpabana Chapam Animadibhiravritam Mayukhairahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavanim. Having done this short meditation, the first offering begins, which is called Gandha. Tripura will briefly show you, for those who don't know what chandana is, it is the sandal powder. You add water to it to make it a paste. And in the short form of the puja, this shortest form that you are learning today, you apply it to the bindu. Yeah, with the ring finger of the right hand, you apply it to the bindu of the Sri Chakra. If you have other murtis on your shrine, you can also apply it to them on their third eye. And as we apply the chandana and then the kumkum is the red powder. As we apply that, we understand and we speak the following mantra. Again, Om Aim Hrim Shreem Aim Klim Sauhu. Om Aim Hrim Shreem Samasta Shri Chakra Yogini Parivritaye Sangaye Saparivaraye Shri Lalita Maha Tripurasundariye Gandham Samarpayami. We're offering chandana and kumkum to the bindu of the Sri Chakra, and as we do so, we offer all our sense of touch, sensation, the element earth, the Mooladhara chakra, which is the first chakra, and all our sense of identification, abhimana, to Sri Lalita Mahatripurasundari. All her retinue yoginis, that is all the Shaktis and yoginis that are with her, and all the yoginis and devatas of the Sri Chakra. This is called Gandha, upachara. And Now we are just going through the puja. Afterwards, I will briefly speak a little bit about how the sense of touch, the element earth, the Muladhara chakra, and the sense of Abhimana identification, how these are all interwoven and why it is so important to offer these to Sri Lalita and to the Sri Chakra. Then comes the second upachara, which is Pushpa. Pushpa means flower. The mantra is the same, except that the ending is Pushpani Samarpayami, which means we offer flowers. The rest is the same. The mantra just means to Sri Lalita Tripurasundari, along with her retinue, along with all her limbs, to all the Sri Chakra yoginis who surround her. We offer flowers. So Tripura will demonstrate. Somebody asked, can we apply to the Sri Yantra also? Yes, of course, absolutely. This is the Meru, this is the three-dimensional Sri Yantra that you see here. The Meru chakra and Sri Yantra, absolutely, in any form. And this same puja can be done even if you just have a picture of the Divine Mother or a murti of the Divine Mother, no problem. So Tripura will show again briefly. At this point, we would take the flower and then we will say the mantra, Om Aim Hrim Shrim Aim Klim Sauhu, and offer it to the Sri Chakra, all the yoginis, all the Shaktis, all the powers that are in the Sri Chakra. And we understand that as we do so, we are offering our sense of hearing, the element space, the throat chakra, and all our sense of confusion, Verblendung, Disorientierung in German, to Sri Lalita Mahatripurasundari. Again, a little later, I will speak about the connections, why hearing and space are connected, and why flowers represent space, the sky, and why it is important to offer the entire sense of confusion to her and all her yoginis. Then comes the third upachara, which is dhupa, incense. The mantra is the same, only that in the end, you have to wait because they don't see you. Each time I explain first what we are doing, and then they will see you. So the mantra is the same, only the ending part is different. Dhupama grapayami, which means I give the incense for her to smell. And as we do so, we offer our sense of smell, the element wind, the heart chakra, and all our sense of envy to Sri Lalita Mahatripurasundari. Come back to how these are connected. So now Tripura will show, and for these next two upacharas, Dhupa and Deepa, we will also use a bell. Yeah, so you light the incense, you take an incense stick, you light it, for those who have never done this before, you hold it in your right hand, then you ring the bell, and you, in a clockwise movement, and then you place the incense into an incense holder. I always advise people, please use incense that is natural, because some of the chemical incense can really be harmful. Nobody in ancient times used chemical incense. So use natural incense and don't use too much. So it should also be healthy for you and your family members. This is called the dhupam. This is followed by the deepam, where again the mantra is the same, followed only by a different ending, deepam darshayami, which means I show the deepa. And as we offer the deepam to the entire Sri Chakra, we offer all our sense of vision, the element fire, the navel chakra, and all our sense of aversion or anger, krodha, to the Divine Mother, all her retinue yoginis, and all the yoginis and devatas of the Sri Chakra. Tripura will show the deepam, so you can take a little butter lamp, or you can with ghee. For those who don't know how to make that, I think it's also okay to use a candle. Some people disagree with that. They say candle is not good, or these, modern sort of candle-like lights are not good. Some people say, I think it's okay, but of course, ghee is the best. So she will demonstrate. Make sure that you place the deepa somewhere where it doesn't ignite something, because then that can become quite dangerous and your whole home could start burning if you are not careful. So please be careful always with fire, especially the younger ones. Then already comes the last step of Panchopachara, which is called Naivedya. Here, I still have to make the transcription into the Roman script here. I've forgotten this. So the mantra is the same, only the ending is Naivedyam Nivedayami. Naivedyam is ideally something sattvic. Sattvic means something pure that is not, for example, not onions and garlic, and certainly not anything with animal products, means where something suffered. Ideally, it is some. What are you offering as Naivedyam? Now you're offering rice.
We don't have the food.
So ideally, a Naivedyam is something sweet, like a chocolate. But some people disagree because they say chocolate contains milk, and to make that, the cows suffer in the modern system. So yes, that's also true. So you can take fruits, or you can take nuts, anything that works, or you can also offer the whole meal that you are going to eat later. But then the tradition says you shouldn't taste that before. You shouldn't eat that before, because it is considered not so nice to taste it and eat from it before you offer it. First, you sprinkle it with water, then you offer it, and as you offer it, you give your entire sense of taste, the element water, the chakra of the secret place. Secret place means our procreative organs, and all your sense of desire to Sri Lalita Mahatripurasundari, all her retinue yoginis, and the entire powers of the Sri Chakra. And here you do so by saying the following 5 ancient formulas that go back to the Atharva Veda. Om Prana Yaswaha, Om Apana Yaswaha, Om Vyana Yaswaha, Om Udana Yaswaha, Om Samana Yaswaha, Om Brahmani Swaha. And Tripura will now show you. 2 place it. She will show you how this is done as you say Om Pranaya Swaha. You make the following movement with your right hand. So you place your left hand on the heart and you make the following movement. Om Pranaya Swaha. Om Apanaya Swaha. Om Yanaya Swaha. Om Udanaya Swaha. Om Samanaya Swaha. Om Brahmani Swaha. And then you wait for a short moment and feel how the food offering is being transported, transformed into its subtle essence, known as tanmatras, and is being taken up by the Divine Mother and her yoginis and energies. And remember, all your desire is being absorbed, being offered to the Divine Mother. At this point, the Panchopachara, the 5 upacharas, is already complete. So, the very busy ones among you, and I know we live in a busy world, at this point, you could already skip this part. This is called Japa. After doing the Panchopachara, one does the Japa. Sri Kamakoti Shastriji taught us to do Japa at this point. So those who have received the Srividya initiation, or at least the first mantra, you will do Japa of that here. Those who have received later mantras, you can do that mantra, of course. For those who have not received a mantra but want to do the japa here, you can just speak the syllable Sohu 108 times. Sohu is the highest syllable of Srividya. Don't think it is something low. Yeah, it is extremely high. It is called the Parabija. It is the syllable of the highest form of Sri Lalita. So just by speaking Sohu, I guarantee you, you will start experiencing the Divine Mother directly. And if you want to do it in a very yogic way, you do it like we explained at the beginning, by doing it with the breath on your fontanelle. Like you did it only 10 times here, now you could do it 108 times, where you are breathing on your fontanelle while mentally saying Sohu on the in-breath, mentally. And it is like a small lung that is expanding at the fontanelle, if you want to. If you don't have much time, it is absolutely okay to really skip this part of the japa, and you go directly to a small arati. Arati is the celebration of enlightenment. So here, if you have the same deepa as before, then you can use that. If you like to use camphor, then you can use camphor. Both is fine. And Tripura will show, again, you take a bell and you say, Om Aim Hrim Shri Aim Klim Sohu Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. If there are other people in your home, then you can give them the arati also. If it is only yourself, you first give the arati to the Divine Mother. Then you place it on the ground. You take it yourself. And if there is someone else you also let that person take the Arati. Taking the Arati is to absorb the divine energy and blessing through the light that has been offered. Finally, there is the Pushpanjali, which is whatever remaining flowers there are, you offer them to the Divine Mother. Not to keep anything back. And you say, Om Aim Hrim Shrim Aim Klim Soho Shri Lalita Tripurasundari Pushpanjalim Samarpayami. Now Tripura will demonstrate. So she'll take all the remaining flowers and Om Aim Hrim Shrim Aim Klim Soho Shri Lalita Tripurasundari Pushpanjalim Samarpayami. This is the penultimate step, which is called Puja Samarpanam. There is a typo here. I will correct that. The N should have a dot below. Here, as we began with the auspicious Sankalpa, you remember the resolution we started with. The conclusion is also important. Not just to get up from the puja and to check your WhatsApp and to run away, but to conclude the puja. And here it is something special in Srividya that we offer the fruit of the worship to Devi's Vama Haste, to her left hand. But Devi's left hand, if she's sitting in front of you, is of course to your right, right? So Tripura will demonstrate in a moment, and then you say, Om Aim Hrim Shri Aim Klim Sohu Anena Shri Lalita Tripurasundari Priyatam Namama. May she enjoy this. And this is not mine. So we are offering the fruit, the karma palam. The palam we are offering back to the Divine Mother. So Tripura will demonstrate how this can be done either with your hand, Anena Shri Lalita Tripurasundari Priyatam Namama, offering a flower, or it can be water also. You can also take water and put it to the Divine Mother's left hand, which means to your right. For those who don't know left from right, left is where the thumb is on the right side, and right is where the thumb is on the left side. I'm just joking to keep you in a light mood. I'm sure you know left from right. And at this point, the puja is almost finished. The final step of a puja, Srividya Puja, is to ask for forgiveness for all mistakes. Sometimes people misunderstand and think this is only the mistakes made in the puja. But no, actually it is for all mistakes. And the word aparatha has a very beautiful meaning. It is that which takes away the beauty. Radha means splendor and beauty, and aparatha is that which takes away the beauty. So a mistake in Sanskrit is something that takes away the beauty. Because life could be so beautiful for everybody. It could be so beautiful for you, it could be so beautiful for us, and it could be so beautiful for everyone around us. And the mistakes are that which take away the beauty. So we ask her for forgiveness that from ignorance we keep doing that, unfortunately. We keep taking away the beauty. So the meaning of the verse is, we do that thousands of times. Please consider us your servant and forgive it, in the sense of don't let the result of our mistakes stay for too long. Whatever, O Devi, we have done from ignorance, from lack of mindfulness, vismriti means lack of mindfulness, ein Mangel an Achtsamkeit, from confusion, or in an excessive manner. Sometimes we do something and we think, oh, this is great what I'm doing, but we overdo it. Wir übertreiben es. May all that be forgiven. Bestow your grace, O Supreme Queen. And here the puja is finished by saying, Om Shri Lalita Maha Tripurasundari Arpanamastu. Here also there is a typo. There should be a dot below the N. I will correct that. Yeah, so please, may all be an offering to the Supreme Divine Mother. So this last part is done simply by folding the hands. Tripura will demonstrate. And if you are very courageous, you can also think of the mistakes that you have done. Because you see, it's easy to say, oh, I make all these mistakes, but not to think of the mistakes. But actually to become conscious of the mistakes is a way that we are revealing these mistakes to the Divine Mother. You don't have to reveal the mistakes to us, right? You don't have to send a WhatsApp to me saying, oh, Acharyaji, I did this mistake, I did that. No, you're telling it to the Divine Mother, who is your own heart, your own ultimate destination. But it's good to reveal the mistakes. And mistakes are not only things we do physically, mistakes are also sometimes in thinking, in thought. Gayena vacha manasa. The mistakes are not only with the body, Gaya, they are also with speech and then with thought. Because with speech, we can, due to lack of mindfulness, we can say something that perhaps we don't mean. We say it from some emotion. We don't mean it. Oh, but it goes a very long way. Sometimes the mistakes with speech are more powerful and the impact is greater than any other mistakes. Because maybe we said something, we said it from a joke, we said it from some, just some, kind of, we never thought how the other person will take it. But we have hurt them so deeply that for years and years it goes on. So when we ask for forgiveness, we are also asking for forgiveness from those whom we hurt. Very important, yeah? Yes, we are asking the Divine Mother here and all her yoginis, but we are also asking those whom we hurt for forgiveness. If you do this correctly, all our karma begins to be powerfully purified. The scriptures say the real purification of karma happens when we ask for forgiveness. That is where it becomes purified. And of course, we have to mean that. Yeah. So it's not that you are just doing it during the puja and then you go out from the puja and you repeat it right away. That would not be a real asking for forgiveness. Yeah. So here the puja is complete. So we have gone through the entire puja. We have recorded it. I think Tripura has beautifully demonstrated it. Now, I will briefly explain in the Panchopachara how the emotions are interwoven with the senses, the tattvas, meaning the elements, and the chakras also. Remember, and for those who have not heard such a teaching, the Shri Chakra actually represents our entire subtle body. The outer part is the element earth and everything linked with it. The sense of touch and the sense of identification. Identification means to hold oneself for something. Sich für etwas halten. For example, to consider oneself to be only the body. Or to consider oneself to be only one's possessions. Don't laugh. Many people think they are their possessions. That is really the truth. And when their possessions become less, their emotions suffer. That is called abhimana, sich für etwas halten, yeah, to identify with something. That is related to the element earth. And in the Gandha upachara, when we are offering the chandana and the kumkuma to the Divine Mother, that element earth and the sense of identification is offered back to her. It is dissolved into her by offering it to her, which means also we become less attached because we are offering to her. You understand? We're offering it all to her. This is also related to the dissolution phase at the time of our passing away. When we pass away, first the element earth and the sense of identification dissolves into the element water and the sense of emotion and taste, and then these dissolve inward ultimately into space and then into consciousness. So when we learn to offer our identifications, when we learn to do so, then, not when we learn to do so only, when we train in offering our identifications, that process becomes easier. And then we don't remain in the physical plane. We don't remain in the earthly identifications when we pass away. And not only when we pass away, also while we are alive, because we're doing it every day in the puja. You understand? That is the secret of the upacharas. Now, it is fascinating that in the Srividya upachara, the second upachara is not water. It does not follow a kind of logical structure where earth is offered into water, and then water is offered into fire, and fire into wind, and then wind into space. No, the second upachara is directly space. The element of space or sky is represented by flowers because the gods rain down flowers from the sky. Akasha vrishti. That is why flowers here represent space. In one scripture, it also beautifully says, because when the bees take the nectar from the flowers, they make the humming sound, the Brahmara sound. Therefore, the element hearing is related to space. But that is more of a metaphor. It's a beautiful metaphor. But actually, the reason is because hearing in our ears is directly connected with space. And when our hearing faculty is impacted, when our sense of balance is impacted in our organ of hearing, we actually experience space differently, right? There's a direct connection there. The space is the throat chakra, and the emotional state is that of confusion, disorientation, lacking orientation, confusion, not seeing. That is offered to the Divine Mother. And when that is offered, she helps us overcome the confusion, dissolve the confusion, and the result is clarity. Then, similarly, here we have said the sense of smell and wind and the heart chakra. These are all connected, and they are offered by offering incense, and the emotion is envy. It's quite fascinating. Yeah, people don't know this, that the sense of the sense of smell and the Vayu Tattva and the heart chakra is actually related to envy. Being envious of others means wanting what the other has, but not wanting what you yourself have. Not being content with what you have or what you are, and wanting what the other is or has. So it's like a rejection and aversion towards yourself, but a desire for the other. That is called envy. And when this is continuously offered, and at this point you can also sometimes become aware of it. What are the sources of your envy? And when that is offered to the Divine Mother, you cannot imagine how much karma you are purifying and how much vasana, how much patterns, samskara, you are purifying. You cannot imagine how much. Because it is envy that keeps us in samsara. Envy and identification. It is abhimana and matsarya that keep us in samsara, mainly. And you cannot imagine how powerful it is to daily offer this to her. You will thank me one day. I always like to joke. If you do this, you will thank me one day, because at the end of your life, you will realize how powerful this was and how amazing it was that you kept doing that. And you will remember that strange Acharyaji from Switzerland. Oh, thank you that he told us this. Please. And I thank our gurus. I thank our Gurudev and all the gurus before him that they taught us this, because this is what will purify you. Today itself, if you start, it purifies you. And then there is the Deepa, which is the element fire and vision, the navel chakra, and all your sense of aversion or anger. Aversion to others becomes anger, or anger also arises when you don't get what you want. Yeah, it's kind of the reversal of desire. Desire is the last one. The reversal of that is anger, right? And they're always in a pendulum, right? They're always in a pendulum together. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, these are the two enemies of realization, Kama and Krodha. They are what obscure the pure awareness that is in your heart already there. They obscure it. Like an embryo is obscured by the stuff around the embryo. This is what the Lord says. So here also, when you offer vision, fire, your navel chakra, and then you offer your aversions and your anger, then you are purified. You see how powerful that is, doing that daily. And also the energy channels, the nadis in your subtle body that are related to these emotions, they are purified when you offer them to the Sri Chakra, because your subtle body is in reality the Sri Chakra. And when you offer up these, then they are purified and your subtle body takes on its real potential. Its real power is released and unleashed. Yeah, there's a science behind this also. Finally, there is desire, karma, which is very powerful, of course. It is done by offering the sense of taste, the element water, the chakra of the secret place, which is our procreative organ, where desire is felt the strongest. And we offer all desire. Not, of course, only that kind of desire, but all desire is offered. You will also see that desire in the human being expresses itself mostly through the sense of taste and through that secret place. It's very interesting to observe that. Yeah, so everything else is more envy, pride, but that kind of, right, in German we say, das Wasser läuft im Mund zusammen, right? The water accumulates in the mouth when we desire something. It's crazy if you observe it, how fascinating our being is. And here we offer that to her, along with all the 5 pranas and all the sub-pranas, all pranas. There are ultimately thousands of pranas, and they are all connected with the 5 pranas. And by offering desire to her through the food offering, we get purified immensely. So I hope you have understood the beauty, the power of doing this daily. It may be sounded very long now, but Tripura, what would you say if one actually just does the puja? Now you are visible again. If one just does the puja, how long do you realistically think would somebody take to do this? This Panchopachara Puja.
I would say it is done in 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, not more.
Let's say 6 minutes, 7 minutes maximum. Yeah. So we talked along a lot and I spoke very slowly and she showed you everything. So maybe some of you now think this was long. No, it is not long. Yeah, if you do this 7 minutes. Any questions? So now we will stop the recording, because